Hey everybody, it's GobletX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we'll be playing another Premier Draft of Wilds of Eldraine. Without further ado, let's get into the draft. We've opened up a pretty sweet Mythic Rare. This is Talion the Kindly Lord. 4 mana for a 3/4 flyer. When they enter the battlefield, choose a number between 1 and 10. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value, power, or toughness equal to the chosen number, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. So 4 mana, 3/4 flyer with major upside is a pretty great card. It is interesting to try to choose what number you want. Usually something like 2 or 3 is probably the best, as most decks are going to have more 2 and 3 mana cards than anything else, as well as a lot of 2 power, 3 power, or 2 toughness, 3 toughness creatures, stuff like that. So I think it's interesting to know what number to pick, but generally a very powerful card and a solid way to start off the draft. For pack 1, pick 2 now, we've got a Hopeless Nightmare, which is great to bargain away in black. We've got a Spell Stutter, which could be pretty good if we go blue-black fairies, and Talion already wants us to be in blue-black, which is the main color for fairies, and Talion is a fairy themselves, so Spell Stutter could be pretty good here. Obier's Attendance is fine. I feel like it's probably Spell Stutter. If we don't want to get married to our pack 1, pick 1, we could take like a 2-headed Hunter here, just a great card for the top end of any aggro decks, or Root Rider Fawn, which is great for the ramp, but let's go for a Spell Stutter with our Talion. Pack 1, pick 3 now. Don't like this pack that much. I might take Evolving Wilds to stay open. Stingblade Assassin would be okay for fairies, but not particularly impressive. Transmuter, kind of the same. Lich Knight's Conquest is cute. If you can get a lot of food and treasures, you can do something big with this, but requires a lot of building around. It doesn't seem great up front. Have liked Ruby a lot in my red-green aggro deck. She was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm not in love with anything here. I'm just going to take Evolving Wilds. Pack 1, pick 4. I do really like the Apprentice's Folly. The most basic synergy with this card is to use this, get 2 hasty copies of something, and then sacrifice it before you make it to Chapter 3, so that you don't have to sacrifice any of the copies that you make. And you can do that with any cards that let you bargain. The bargain cards letting you sacrifice an enchantment, so I think Apprentice's Folly is great. It is not that difficult to find a way to get rid of it before it gives you the negative part where it becomes really good. The other card that's really fun with it is Stockpiling Celebrant, because then you can use Chapter 2 to make a copy of one of your Stockpiling Celebrants to then pick up the Folly and replay it again later. So not only are you not having to sack your cards, but you're getting even more clones later. So if we can go like blue, red, white, and go Apprentice's Folly plus Stockpiling Celebrant, that would be really nice. And I do like Prophetic Prism as flexible mana fixing for whatever we end up in. We're currently already dancing around with 3 colors, so Prism could be pretty awesome to go with like Evolving Wilds here. The other best pick would probably be Shatter the Oath, because we are toying with playing black with Talion right now. And that is a solid, slow but solid removal spell. I think I'd rather take Prism though. Doing some very multicolored stuff right now. Kind of deciding what we want to do. There's another Stockpiling Celebrant, and I think the Stockpiling Celebrant Apprentice's Folly combo is really funny and really cute, and there's plenty of other combos you can do with Stockpiling Celebrant, like Prophetic Prism. Just pick that up, draw another card with it later. But there's even better synergies than that. I'm going to take the Celebrant here and be open to that. I'm not seeing incredible options for blue-black fairies, so maybe blue, red, white Apprentice's Folly nonsense, where Johann's Stopgap's going to be pretty good just as a way to bargain away the Folly if we need to, but also as a solid bounce spell at any point. Pretty late Ruby. If we just want to fully read the draft bot and disregard everything we've done so far, maybe take this Ruby and see if we wheel the other one, and then hop into red-green. Could be an option if you're very bold. Signal reading kind of drafter like that, but I'm going to go for the Stopgap and go after the Apprentice's Folly deck. Could be very fun, very spicy. Skewer Slinger, Alchemist, Coral Smith, some kind of filler creature at this point. Or Collector's Vault for filler fixing with those treasure tokens. Nothing that I'm going to be very excited about. Just grab Alchemist, I guess. Pick 9. Flick a Coin is a mediocre removal spell, but it also gives you treasure for fixing. I think that's fine. Pick 10. Financier or Besotted Knight or something. All seem fine. Take the Financier, I guess, for the higher rarity card. Just a bunch of stuff we're really unlikely to play at this point in the draft. Basically waiting to see what we open up the next pack. That's a late Ash. Red-white Celebration aggro can make great use of Ash and get so much damage in. I'm going to speculate on that because Unassuming Sage is not particularly strong. Alright, we're doing something. I don't know for sure what yet. Hopefully Apprentice Folly stockpiling Celebrant stuff. Red-white or blue-white splashing the other color. Apologies about that. I think one of the cats might have knocked something over in the other room. Alright. Pack 2. Pick number 1. We've got a good amount of blue cards. We can take Bitter Chill just for solid blue removal. Mosswood Dread Knight is a super busted card, but we're not even touching green right now. 2 mana for a 3/2 trample. When it dies, you can cast the Adventure until the end of your next turn. So then you just spend 2 mana, draw a card, lose life, and put this back into exile to play it again later with the trample. I think Dread Knight is super busted. But very far color-wise from what we're doing right now. So I don't think we can go for that. We probably just take the Bitter Chill. Pack 2, pick 2. We do see an Obira Dreaming Duelist for blue-black fairies as another build around. Go along with our Talion here. Could be pretty good. We're not seeing anything in white for the Celebrant combos. I think Obira is probably the pick. Stab Wound's good. Dream Spoilers is fine with a ton of instants. We'll go for Obira. Pack 2, pick 3, and there are 0 blue and black cards again. Freeze in Place is not a magic card. Disregard it. We've got Cooped Up for red-white Celebration and just white removal in general to be solid. Probably got to take that because we do got some white cards to splash in. Could take the red-white duel as well. 2 cards deep into black. Deeper into white, but I don't love any of our white cards. Do like the Stockpiling Celebrant, the Cooped Up. Those are pretty good, but the Financier and the Clothier are just not great. Pick 4. Not too much going on here either. Naughty for blue-black fairies, or Sir Ginger does fit into anything. It's just a 2 mana 3/1 that you can also sack to gain 3. We get any other food tokens or treasure tokens or anything, then Sir Ginger can also get bigger, but we don't even need those for Sir Ginger to be fine. We're dancing around with so many different options and colors at this point. We should probably be pretty happy to take something that can fit in our deck no matter what, because it's just colorless. Pick 5. Take the 2 mana Mana Rock. Just 2 mana, tap for colorless. That's basically it. Can ramp into some big stuff. I think it's fine. Can also fit into our deck pretty much no matter what. With enough Prophetic Prisms, we could splash in the Grove's Bounty on the Elusive Otter here. Can always just play the front half up front. Immodane's Recruiter is also great for like that red-white deck, but that's a pick 6 Recruiter. Hopeful Vigil's also great for Celebration. Just instantly triggers Celebration by itself, while being good for the blue-white grindy stockpiling Celebrant build. Probably take Vigil over Recruiter, but I could see this being the point where we just take Recruiter and hop onto red-white and use whatever we can get. Another Hopeful Vigil, that's fantastic with our stockpiling Celebrant. Alright, so at this point we're on like blue-white, splash some stuff off of Prophetic Prism Evolving Wilds at this point. There's another Ash. Not excited about Living Lectern, Twin Veil Guide, or Solitary Sanctuary, so I'm gonna take her and just take a bunch of white cards primarily now. We're some combination of blue, white, and red. This is all nonsense as well. We'll take the Clothier. Edgewall Pact triggers Celebration single-handedly. I also just like the 1-mana 1/1 haste as well with Ash, but let's go the Edgewall Pact. How possible is it that we get to play red-white Celebration aggro? It feels unlikely. But maybe we can do it. Every single card would have to be playable in the next pack for red-white aggro, basically. Can play the Plunge into Winter, I'm not going to be happy about it. Can play the Catapult, not going to be happy about it. Could play Prism Evolving Wilds Folly, that would help. That's 17 playables here. Might try to do it. Another Prophetic Prism, because we're going to do a lot of splashy stuff here. Or how does the creature curve look? Might want another 3-drop like the Protective Parents, but I don't think they're great. Dragon Mantle's really good on a Ginger Brute, but we don't have any Ginger Brutes. Our 2-drops are great. 2 Hopeful Visual, 2 Ashes, and a Sir Ginger. Kind of the Stone Cold Nuts. Maybe we'll just take like a Grabby Giant here and just go for it. If we can, which is possible. We've got 2 Hopeful Vigils for enchantments. We've got 2 Royal Rolls from the Clothiers. We've got a Cooped Up as an enchantment. Keep Guard might be okay-ish. Not going to be great. It's Keep Guard or Red Cap Thief, basically, here. Let's get the Keep Guard. It also makes it easy to trigger Celebration. If we have a 1-drop and a 2-drop in hand on turn 3, we can just play both of them. That'll be 2 permanents entering the battlefield. I feel like we are going to be doing Apprentice's Folly splash nonsense, most likely here. Kind of have to take Torch the Tower, I think. That's super efficient removal, but Monstrous Rage is a real good trick. +3/+1 trample till end of turn, and just a permanent +1/+1 trample from that point on. It's crazy. We're at 12 creatures. Not horrible. Not as bad as I thought it would be. But yeah, our removal is pretty bad. I think I have to take Torch the Tower here. Another Dragon Mantle is kind of sweet. Could also splash in Charade, because I'm probably already splashing in white nonsense. Grab the 2/2. Actually, Ratcatcher Training is also just beautiful for red-white Celebration, because turn 3 it single-handedly triggers Celebration. Gives you a lot of creatures off the 1 card. Hard choices, because excellent, excellent cards are showing up. Charade and Ratcatcher being the best ones here. I'm going to go for the Ratcatcher. We might wheel Charade. Probably not, but I did have a draft earlier today in this recording session where there was literally pack 3, pick 14 Charade. It was literally the last pick, which was gross. I'm going to take another Cooped Up here. There is also a Grasp of Fate. Is that better than Cooped Up? A little more expensive up front, but instantly does the exile part. But then if they blow it up, they get the thing back. I actually don't know. I'm going to go for the Cooped Up for the mana efficiency in a more aggressive deck. It's probably potentially better. Take Protective Parents here. Could try to do Twisted Fealty things if we're aggressive enough. That could be a finisher. Yeah. Actually take that and maybe try it out. Another Hopeful Vigil. Okay. Another Hopeful Vigil. Quadruple Hopeful Vigil, the sickest Celebration curve ever. Try out the Dragon Mantle now. 13 creatures, but 4 Hopeful Vigil. I really like young hero rolls, though. I might go Protective Parents. Redcap Thief can help splash in blue, but I don't know if I'm even doing that at this point. I guess the deciding factor for me is going to be... I'm not going to play another Reindeer. Is going to be if we wheel the blue-white card, then I suppose I will. Another Grabby Giant. Alright, Grand Ball Guest looks real good in here with 4 copies of Hopeful Vigil to trigger Celebration. Okay, got another Protective Parents to wheel for us. Maybe we should have taken the first Dragon Mantle over the first Protective Parents then, since we got another one back, but I think I like this Red-White Celebration pivot with all these ashes that showed up nice and late. Could still splash the Folly off of Prism Evolving Wilds, but that's going to slow down the aggro a good bit, which doesn't feel great. Want to try to be as fast as possible. So let's sort these non-creatures out. I'm definitely not playing Catapult, but then we'll see what we want to cut. Probably some of those tap effects. Okay, is this creatures versus non-creatures? Yes, it is. We are at 16 plus 4, 20 creatures here. Let's go. Definitely want to cut at least a couple of those. All right, so I probably want to cut the 2 tap effects and just run the straight removal, maybe even the active treason. This would be the next card I might cut. Maybe Moment of Valor as well. But 3 creatures to cut here. I don't want all these 4 drops, and I think Reindeer is the worst. We don't have a ton. Tap synergies with that. And probably cut one of the Clothiers as well. I don't need that much top end. These are fine at the top end, though, because they do trigger Celebration. That's 2 permanents hitting the board. So I think one of those is fine, but cut the Reindeer. And then do I cut the Fealty or cut another creature here? 14 plus 4, 18 creatures. I could run 18 creatures in this deck. We are very aggressive, but maybe we just drop the Financier, just the 2-3, and stick with mostly creatures with higher power than toughness, more aggressive creatures here. Drop that. If our opponent has more lands than us, though, the Financier is going to be helping trigger Celebration pretty consistently, and our curve probably low enough, average 2.6 to cut a land even. Probably do that, cut a land, keep Financier in here, and then maybe that does some Celebration nonsense with Ash, or just gives us those treasures for ramp or card draw. Could be cool. Yeah, I think we ended up in a very reasonable red-white aggro deck here. Alright, here's a look at our final deck list for today. We're on a red-white Celebration aggro deck, just a really good aggressive curve of creatures, tons of 2-mana creatures, with Ash Party Crashers every time we're celebrating, which is having 2 non-land permanents enter the battlefield under our control. We're getting a +1/+1 counter on Ash, so really good aggressive dork with like 4 Hopeful Vigil to single-handedly trigger Celebration, as well as an Edgewall pack, and a Charmed Clothier that also single-handedly triggers Celebration. And then we've got a 1-drop, so we can fit that into the curve easily alongside a 2-drop or a 3-drop to trigger Celebration that way. Lots of ways to get these triggering and getting a bunch of extra counters and just really beating down, but same with the Grand Ball Guest. This can constantly be attacking as a 3/3 trample. That'll be pretty good. And again, just a good aggressive curve with some great removal to clear the path, couple Cooped Up, a Torch the Tower. Flick a Coin's a little more narrow, but then Moment of Valor can kill the big stuff, the Flick can kill the small stuff, and the Twisted Fealty can find lethal in the end, stealing one of their blockers and attacking them with it. So really solid looking, really aggressive red-white deck. Pretty excited to see how it does as we head into the gameplay. Alright, here we are for game 1 with both our colors. Hopeful Vigil turn 2, some removal in between, and a Charmed Clothier turn 5. We will keep the hand. Our opponent has taken a mulligan. Don't recall who is on the play or on the draw here. They are on the play. Let's see what they got. Start off with an island and pass the turn. Blue-red. There's a Grand Ball Guest. Hit the Torch the Tower a turn too late. I can still kill that next turn with it, though. But we're definitely not going to kill the Grand Ball Guest instead of playing our 2-mana 2/2 this turn. Mocking Sprites. Okay. I would be pretty chill to trade my 2/2 into the Mocking Sprites. Less chill to trade it into Grand Ball Guest, but that's probably still fine. It's probably more important to kill the card that's reducing their mana costs right now than the one that isn't, so probably supposed to torch the Sprite and attack here. Could crack the Vigil to get the Scry too, but I'm going to leave it around because we do have a Celebrant in our deck that can pick it up and let us recast it. Hoping to draw a creature before we get to 5 mana. It's a Frolicking Familiar. We can coop that up. There's a creature. Pretty good one if they don't just blow it up here. So here's Grabby Giant. Trying to go Grabby Giant into Clothier. They attack, we'll just take all the damage. They do blow it up and put a Young Hero roll on the Familiar. We're definitely killing that then. Then I can play another Grabby Giant before the Clothier. Yeah, let's deal with the Familiar right now. Play a Crystal Grotto, scry one. Not a lot of instant speed bounce in this format as far as I remember, so I think they probably shouldn't be able to like instant speed bounce Familiar back to their hand in response to me getting a treasure. Cool. So get that treasure for later. Now I can play the Grabby Giant and still have the 3 mana up to exile the Familiar if they try to save it in any way. And then we can play our flyer and get the Royal Roll on the Giant next turn. Alright, final card is just removal for the Grabby Giant. I could give it Indestructible here. Hope they don't top deck away to save Familiar. I think I'm chill with that. Again, just because I really want to have a creature around to put the roll onto with our flyer. Plus, this Grabby Giant can just start sacking any excess lands to get us drawing cards when we run out of things to do. Song of Totentans. Well, that's not good. It's going to be a lot of damage over time. Card is a great bomb. Don't think I can afford to attack here. 12 life facing 4 1/1s. I guess I kill them in 4 swings myself if I put the Royal Roll onto the Giant. Yeah, they still have to draw well as follow-ups to this to get the kill on me. We can attempt to outrace them here. I just take 3 and I kill a rat, so next time they attack, there's only 3 rats attacking and I take 2, and so on from there if they don't find some follow-ups. Oh, please tell me they did not hit bounce for the Familiar. Oh, they did. Oh, that's gross. Yeah, that's disgusting. That would have been a decent reason to play Parents instead of Clothier, even though we hit less hard. Belligerent of the Ball. They can work on getting Menace down. They're at 15. I can hit them for 8 here if they don't just chump. But if they draw into another permanent, another non-land permanent, they can give something +1/+0 Menace. They could give the Belligerent +1/+0 Menace, hit for 8 themselves. I think I'd jam in. Them to 7. They have 2 blockers max next turn. Yeah. Say that's a snap block on the Belligerent. They can use the Frolicking Familiar for 1 damage to stack up onto the Parents and kill it. But then I do get a Young Hero roll, and I'm still taking 1 less damage and permanently killing a rat for the future. I think this is fine. Yep, use the Familiar. Young Hero roll onto the Flyer. They drop their 2/2 Flyer. A land, and we draw a card. Draw another Cooped Up. Pretty good draw. Guaranteed hit for 4 in the sky. Force the chump block on the ground. Take 3 on the crackback. Yep. They're dead. Next turn. What does this do? The top 8 cards of their library, put 2 into hand, the rest in the bottom? If anything's gonna save them. Oh my god. That is large. Best 2 cards out of the top 8. Might find something to save them. It does not. There's the concession from our opponent, and we're going to start things off 1-0 here. So I think one of the big things that went wrong there, of course, was them being able to bounce the Familiar. So I think our best opportunity to have exiled the Familiar earlier was, instead of getting the treasure off the Grabby Giant's Adventure, should have just cashed in the Cooped Up earlier in the game, just to get the exile out of the way. And things would have went better there. So in the future, especially against blue, I think when I have excess mana sitting around and options of 2 things that aren't that impactful, I'm going to go for the just full-on exile the creature. Here we are on the play for game 2. This is a very land-heavy hand, and we don't start things till turn 3. I guess I get the treasure on turn 2, but I'm going to cross my fingers a little bit. We're on the play here. We are doing something turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, even if the turn 2 play is just getting a treasure for later. We are just a 16 land deck, and basically every non-land draw is fantastic for this hand. But we started off drawing another land. The Barrow Naughty to start things off for our opponents. Our Protective Parents can attack into that perfectly fine. We draw 2 lands in a row. 5-lander into draw double land is pretty rough. Hey, let's go. They tried to make me discard a card. See, I had the foresight to know that they had the ego drain, or the foresight, not the foresight. Yeah, I mean, that kind of paid for it there. We got an extra card off of them for free. It's kind of nice. Just play the giant. Snare Master Sprite's gonna slow down the Grabby Giant here and make the Barrow Naughty life linking, which is super annoying. Well, perfect. Found the cooped up. I hate that Arena's immediately testing me on this. Where I have the option of fully exiling Barrow Naughty to play around them bouncing their own Barrow Naughty to save it, or to curve out aggressively by playing another 3-2 and just shut off its ability to attack and block for now. See if I get punished for it again, but I'm gonna coop up. Well, I guess what I could do, I'm definitely playing Protective Parents here. I'm not gonna just tap out 5 for cooped up, but what I could do is play the parents and then just keep the cooped up and let them get a lifelink attack in here. That's probably the safest, in case they have bounce. Plus, then I have cooped up for something that might be better. Not that Totem Tons is better, but it's their only blocker, so I think it's fine to coop that up. We hit for 10 if we do. Cool. Play a Financier for more aggro or exile Totem Tens. I'm gonna hold up the exile mana, play it safe, and if we don't need to exile Totem Tens by the end step, then we can just sack the treasure, draw a card. They go to the end step. Sack treasure, draw a card. Find a Hopeful Vigil. Okay. This can buff up to 3 power. I think I'm still attacking with everybody. In this case. Play a Vigil pre-combat in case some parents start dying. In case everybody's getting orphaned all over the place. So I've got another place to put the young hero roll. Okay, they're just going to buff up the Naughty here. Probably exile Totem Tens before combat damage so they don't get any rats. Not that rats are super valuable right now. It's probably better than playing the Financier. And I've got no tricks to hold up anyway. Cool. So they stay at 6. Stop up my upkeep, I could sack Vigil in the upkeep for Scry and still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 -3. I could still have 5 mana after that. That's enough for literally everything in my deck, so probably worth the Scry. I couldn't double spell Financier and another 3-drop or something after Scrying, but I don't think Financier has a lot of immediate impact on this game. Snare Master Sprites does slow me down, but not big enough to trade into anything on blocks, which is great. for me. See what we find. 5 mana or less. There's a torch the tower. Clear out the block hit for 5. I don't think I need to do that, but I'll keep torch the tower. And just attack in. Got 7 lands on board. We've got 5, 6, 7. If they play another land, Financier might pop off, so I'll stop playing lands here. Ooh, do they have Graveyard Recursion? They were checking out their graveyard a bit. There is a 3 mana sorcery that picks up 2 creatures from grave, puts them to hand. Looks like whatever it is, it's not going to be enough, and we are going to find another victory here for our red-white celebration aggro stuff. And we'll be 2-0 heading into Game 3. Alright, here we are on the play for Game 3. Turn 2 Ginger, turn 3 tons of options if I draw any land. If I don't draw a land, I do have a decent amount of 2-drops in this deck, so I might draw into some more of those and be able to play some of those. So I think most draws in our deck are pretty good for this hand here. Drop Sir Ginger, pass the turn. Playing against black-white with a turn 1 Fairy Dream Thief into a Wicked Visitor. We do hit land 3. Sir Ginger's never going to get any bigger, so I think offering the trade for Visitor is not terrible, although we could put a young hero roll onto Sir Ginger. But even then, she'd be 2 toughness off the first attack and still trade into the 2/2. Protective Parents really want me to have additional creatures on board though, so I'm going to not attack and just play the Parents. I think things get really awkward if I trade Ginger off and then they just have removal for Parents and we don't get the death trigger at all. Alright, well. Probably get removal spelled here. That's fine, this is still just a 2 for 2. I trade Parents into Visitor and then removal spell into Ginger. Okay, that's also cool with me. Trade my Parents into the combat trick. That's a 1-for-1 trade, and I get to keep the young hero roll. Ooh. Ash Party Crasher. Don't get to trigger Celebration this turn, but get aggressive. If I top deck any land, I can play Cooped Up and Ash in the same turn. I think that's pretty impressive. Let's actually hold off on that for that. Just play another Parents. But I really don't want to trade these Parents off, because each creature we control can only have 1 roll of ours on it. So I can't put 2 young hero rolls onto Sir Ginger, and even if I could, Sir Ginger's not going to get any bigger after the 4th toughness. And in the team, we're racing. Alright. Twin Veil Guide. Come on, land. Oh, that would have been such a good Ash Cooped Up. That would have been a gross turn. Still gotta coop up the Twin Veil Guide, I think, and just slam in here. Make sure they don't get any lifelink going. Although my attack was already pretty free, I don't think they had a good trade. So it's probably attack in and then coop up post-combat, but... Well, that's gross. Princess Takes Flight is an excellent removal spell. Exiles one of your creatures, then gives one of their creatures +2/+2 flying. And then Chapter 3 gives you your creature back, but there's tons of like bargain cards in the format where they could definitely bargain it away before we get Sir Ginger back. Still have 14 life. There at 8. We are winning the race. What do I want to do here? Get a couple rats, maybe? Make a rat hero? No great synergies for Celebrant. It would just be a 3/2 right now. Could just play a 2/2 Vigilance, honestly. And then I've got something to Celebrant back later. I think I'm going to get mana efficient, though. Let's attack in with the parents, offering to trade for Wicked Visitor. Get the rats and make one of the rats a hero. Jamming with those things next turn. They have their own stockpiling celebrant. They can save the Twin Veil Guide. That'd be pretty good. But I really don't have the mana this game to use the exile on Cooped Up. Yep, there's the bargain. Rowan's Grim Search, the princess takes flight away. It's just really good. Come on, land. Come on, top deck land. Be so good. Yes, finally. Got there eventually. Let's go, Team Ash, and we can easily trigger Celebration like every turn from now on. Just casting a single Hopeful Vigil is going to do it. And a single Clothier is going to do it. They're at 2 life, but they have a food. 2 cards in hand. So I think for timing restriction reasons, you can't exile something to Cooped Up and pick it up to Celebrant. But you can exile something and bargain your Cooped Up away. Another Grim Search, that's pretty huge. Yeah, they're really digging because they're shooting themselves in the face to do that. Yeah, and it's just not going to work out for them. Alright. Big stuff, I think. That just continues our incredible start with our Red-White Celebration aggro deck. I think we're 3-0 now, getting at least 1,000 gems back out of the event. Already doing very solid, because the jump between 2 wins and 3 wins is really important. The difference between 250 gems and 1,000 gems, so really happy to be starting off 3-0 as we head into Game 4. Here we are for Game 4. Love that we're on the play here. We've got that turn 2 Vigil, turn 3 Parents. Solid start, we'll keep it. Get a Financier, definitely less good on the play, but currently we don't have a 4th land, so our opponent does hit every land drop. Financier could be good for us. They've got the Torch the Tower to clear out our 2/2 Vigilance, and they drop a Grand Ball Guest here. Don't love the Parents without another creature on board, so I am going to drop Financier, I think, for the 2/3 stats, and so we can have something for the Parents to put a roll onto. Well, I guess we don't block here. Probably Ratcatcher, make this a 3/3. Yeah, makes sense. Well, I've got a bunch of lands here, but could get treasure tokens if I don't play them. I think I have to still play them here. So I can play the Parents and hold up the Torch the Tower. Yeah. Yeah. Probably Torch the first Striker. Weirdly enough, we're kind of chilling on the defense right now. My 2/3 to block the 2/2, 3/2 onto a rat, and a Torch the Tower to kill the first Striker. I got another Ratcatcher trainee now. Alright, well I might Torch the Grand Ball Guest then. And basically negate their whole turn. Yep. They make 2 rats, don't really do anything. And then we can crack back for 5. Ooh, we can crack back for more getting this down. Yeah, we'll make the Parents bigger, since they give us stuff when they die. If they want to throw removal at that, that's fine. Alright, so we hit for 6, they hit for 4. They frenzy the Clothier, so the Flyer's gone. Borrow the Ratcatcher and hit them for 8, 9 here if I want. Them for 9, they go to 5. Worth it, or do I just play another Protective Parents for now and then steal something next turn trying to get the kill? I feel like I probably steal something next turn trying to get the kill, because I still hit for 7. They just don't block at all. And we fealty them next turn to find the kill. Curiosity on the trainee, so they can draw 1 card and then play a 2/1, and then we steal their only blocker and kill them. Unless they've got a 1-mana blocker to play alongside the 2/1 here. Or they just hold up removal. Let's see. If they tap out, pretty sure we win against pretty much anything they could tap out for. Yeah, Merry Bards. That's the kill. Wicked Roll, Financier, doesn't really matter. Jam on in. Four and breaking even, no matter what. Here we are now for game 5, remaining undefeated so far. Ooh, Hopeful Vigil into stockpiling Celebrant. Sorry, Sir Ginger. I found something better to do on curve. Playing against a blue-white deck. Blue-white has a lot of tapping cards and a lot of cards that can draw cards or get +1/+1 counters or anything like that every time they tap something. Please no spell stutter. I would be so sad if my Vigil got spell stuttered so I couldn't do the Celebrant thing here. Although I guess if the Celebrant gets spell stuttered, it's like the same thing. Okay, it's a Picklock Prankster, that's fine. And they missed. 2 mana to do nothing, baby. Let's go. Didn't mill any instant sorceries or fairies. Definitely a rough time. I've been there. Ooh, they milled one of their own stockpiling Celebrants as well, which is going to give them less ways to get around our cooped ups. Ideally, we're waiting to cast these until we have 5 mana, because blue-white is like the best at dealing with cooped ups. They can bounce their own creature. Ew. They could bounce their own creature or bounce it with Celebrant or destroy the enchantment. Lots of ways blue-white can get out of it. Alright, here's Celebrant while they're tapped out of a counterspell, so we can at least try to get our value back that we just lost there. That was a huge value swing because it was an adventure that just fully killed our token too. It's probably the best thing that this adventure can do. It can just straight up kill a token. That's gross. Gadwick's first duel. The stockpiling Celebrant is cursed. 1/1 Celebrant has arrived. Drop a 4/3 while they're tapped out. They are stuck on mana here. There's 3 lands still. They do get to scry 2 this turn, though. Help find the mana they need to get towards the 6 mana 6/5 that we know they have coming. But they also have like at least 4 non-land cards in hand. So plenty of action. They did top deck a land naturally because they didn't scry till after the draw step. That is how sagas work. They trigger during the main phase right after your draw step. So they made it up to 4 mana. Hopefully they don't play anything I need to coop up, and I can just play Vigil and Sir Ginger this turn. Because I really don't want to be put in a position where I have to coop something up without fully exiling it against a blue-white deck. But if they play something good here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just pacify it and play a creature. Especially when I hit a 3-drop creature, so this might be bad for me, but worst case scenario, this is still a great tempo play where they have to spend some mana picking up the reindeer and recasting it again later. So like, even if they get me here, they don't like mega get me here. At least most of the time. There are a few cards that would probably get us pretty bad. But like if they pick up Reindeer with some kind of bounce spell, it's actually kind of okay still. Because they're spending a bunch of mana to not get an immediate blocker. Double Shrouded Shepherd. That's pretty gross with the first duel. Clear out our 1/1 and our 3/2. At least if Grabby Giant doesn't die, it will turn into a 5/4 on the attack now. Since it does get to get that hero roll. And they're at 14, so that'd be a 3-turn kill with the Grabby Giant. What are you doing? You have multiple creatures to drop down and you just pass. They probably have the destroy a tapped creature adventure or something here. Not much I can do about it. We just send in anyway. Grabby Giant's not doing a ton else for us except attacking at this point. That card is incredible. Guess I just cooped up and exile the bodyguard immediately to get my Grabby Giant back. Before they have any random interaction up. But now my cooped up's gone, so if they get a 6/5, they've got a 6/5. No 6/5 yet. Drop a 1/3 Flying Vigilance. A Solitary Sanctuary. Stun the Giant and make the Prankster a 2/4 Flying Vigilance. Oh, well, it still gets the stun counter. That doesn't change anything. I was like, oh, it actually gets tapped and not stunned. No, it still gets stunned. Well, slam down all 3 of these things and cross my fingers and pray. Our opponent is missing land drop still. No! Alright, that's bad. That's real bad. I don't think I'm cracking a Vigil in my upkeep to scry 2. I think I'm just starting to sack lands. I'll put a stop in my upkeep in case the Grabby Giant dies or something. They don't play the 6/5. So they've got an instant they really want to hold up. It's another tap spell. That's going to be real annoying. Yeah, let's just draw. Find a Twisted Fealty. That could be huge on the 6/5 later. Alright, let's try to just exile the Reindeer and draw a card this turn, I think. Because the Reindeer, just its ability is scary when they have Solitary Sanctuary on board, getting a +1/+1 counter whenever they tap something. Oh, we want to stop that ability if we can. The only creature I have that's an okay attacker is Grabby Giant. And we're probably getting blown up by whatever weird trick they might have here. Is it just removal? They're stopping before attacks. Yikes. Okay. It's 2 +1/+1 counters and no attacks here. That is horrific. The blue-white deck just absolutely popping off here. Take another 3 in the sky. That's a good draw. Now we're just gonna get bombed by Talion. Better to scry 2 or draw 1 here. Scry 2 lets us dig 3 cards deep. Draw 1 gives us 2 cards deep because we draw 1 and then we draw the next card for turn. But scry 2 is like if the 2 cards on top are bad, we put them both on bottom, then draw the third. Probably is just draw a card. It's an Ash, which triggers Talion, and then a Grand Ballgest, which triggers Talion. Guess I could borrow Talion and then play Ash. And they don't draw the card, but I also don't get anywhere near killing them anyway. No, this is just the full stabilize here. I don't think we're getting out of this. We give them 2 cards to curve out. And we take 4 damage, facing 6 power of flyers. Alright, whatever, maybe they'll... Maybe they'll leave themselves dead to a Twisted Fealty next turn. That's about the only thing we have going for us. Otherwise, this game is so monumentally on lock at this point. Just the stun nonsense going ham this game. The value of being able to just completely blow up my creature with, alright, ready to snap concede to Charade. But I am recording, so I'll play it out. If I weren't recording, that would be the concession point. Our odds of victory went from like 10 to 1. Well, 0.1 if we want to be super honest. We might even die this turn. They're at 7 damage. I can't cast anything with mana value 2 now. Or I'm dead. Alright, cool. I'm dead next turn to the Flyers, so we might as well just try to somehow lethal here. We just do our thing. Yeah, this is nowhere near lethal. That's it. Does not matter what I do. Guess I could have scryed, or I could draw an extra card here if I want. But nothing in our deck beats this point. Yeah, let's go through the motions. Let's get the biggest attack we can, I guess. For funsies. But yeah, I mean, the adventure to just fully kill one of our creatures was really, really good early as well. The adventure from Shrouded Shepherd got to kill 2 creatures, so this thing was a 3-for-1. Kill 2 of our creatures and get a creature off of it. Thanks to the first duel doubling it up. There's just a lot of gross interactions this game. Put them to 1. I feel like they 100% could have taken less damage than that. That was really bold, because if I had a bargain card in hand, they just would have died. I then just bargain away the Wicked roll. Well, now they would die if we didn't die. Or that triggered. That's depressing. Oh, how I wish I had a bargain card now. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to how they blocked, but I'm almost 100% sure they did not have to go down to 1 against a Wicked roll on board. Alright, 4-1 it is, as we head into Game 6. Here we are for Game 6, opponents on the play. We can get a treasure turn 2 at least, well, if we had a red source. Yeah, and so this already doesn't look like a great hand with, even with the red source. Without the red source, I think it's just a straight mulligan. Okay, this is still very bad mana-wise. Play a Surge Ginger at least, have a Clothier for later. We get rid of Torch the Tower or Ratcatcher. Does not seem great. Okay, this is better. Ash turn 2, Vigil turn 3. Just drop 2 lands. Cross those fingers. The mull to 5, let's go. I think our opponent mulliganed to 6 though, so it's not gonna be that bad. Okay, here's Ash. Attack into the fawn for fun, let's go! Boop. We could get them to let us flick a coin at their fawn by doing that. Then we just make the same attack next turn and they're like, oh, this is just a for fun attack, let's get the free block. And then, surprise. I have tossed a coin at the Witcher. Troublemaker, oof. Well, not attacking it anymore. Unless they tap down the fawn. Ooh. Make that thing a 3/3. Well, I drew a cooped up, so now I can do that, and I think I have to. I want to get Ash in. Do I want to get a treasure just to make Ash a 3/3 also? I kinda do. Still get another treasure off Flick a Coin later if I really need one. Now let's celebrate good times. I just like seeing the confetti. I mean, who can dislike that? Just pass the turn here. They already don't have great blocks on board, so they're just not going to block Ash unless they have a trick anyway, so we don't need to hold up the Flick a Coin to try to kill something. Just play the Vigil. Get another celebration turn. Yep, let's celebrate. Have instant speed removal? Oh my god, they do! Well, that sucks. Forgot about Root Rider Fawn being able to fix mana as well. That's gross. The Candy Grapple on Ash. Very, very sad about that. Might send in the Vigilant 2/2 and maybe kill the 1/3. Okay, maybe trade into the 3/2 instead then. That's fine. Drawn to another Ash. Financier actually looking kind of sick with the way our mana is, so I'm probably going to play that. Ooh, we do trade into the Witch? Or Combat Trick time? 1 mana Combat Trick? What is it? The +2/+2 thing? Hexproof till end of turn? No trick. We just kill the Witch. Yeah, let's play the Financier. Let's get some treasure value. And then next turn, even if I just play Ash as the only permanent, because I got a treasure token, it would still be getting the celebration bonus. This Root Rider Fawn has been great for our opponent, being their 1 black source. Tempest Heart, get a 3/4 trampler down. That's big. That is big. Ash doesn't get the counter unless she attacks. Yeah, and I can't attack into the 3/4 well. You just play a Grabby Giant, so a 4/3 can attack into it if they don't play a 5 mana value or greater spell. Probably. Well, there's the removal spell for the 4/3. This Tempest Heart's going to get real big. So they're going to have 2 food on board. They're going to get 3 +1/+1 counters wherever they want now. Can flick a coin at their 1/1. But yeah, this Tempest Heart's going to be a 6/7 trample. We're going to have to draw into another pacifism removal spell, or we're going to be having a real bad time. Guess I still attack with the Financier, and if they block with the Root Rider Fawn, then we get the flick a coin kill there instead. Although I should probably play Ash, because it triggers Celebrate, and they don't have a big enough blocker. Yeah, so we play Ash. I have to play the land to have flick a coin up, but I don't need to play flick a coin until post-combat anyway. So I'll attack, and then I won't play the land unless they block with the Fawn to where I can kill it. They do block with the Fawn, so I think it's worth killing the Fawn because they still don't have a natural black source. Even if this means Financier is not doing anything else on board. It will as soon as they play a swamp off the top, so I think it's worth. Send in with the whole team. I will happily be cracking back then. I guess depends on what their follow-up is. Nothing. Do have 5 mana. Could donate a treasure to them to draw a card, but that's actually good for them with black cards, in exile at least. Cast Surginger. And can't trigger Celebration in any way this turn, so we only hit for 5. But I think I do hit for the 5. Now they're going to have a real big trampling Tempest Heart. And it's just going to get me if I can't find my active treason or my pacifism to steal it and kill them with it, or just kill it. Hit B for 7. Oh, I should have blocked with Surginger. That was loose. I could have blocked with Surginger and sacked the treasure. Surginger would be a 4/2 and we'd get a free kill on the 1/1. Still think I'm supposed to scry 2 with this treasure. Actually, scry 3. Find a Hopeful Vigil against a 6-power Trampler. It's not going to be enough. Try that away. Get the scry 2. There's a cooped up. Beautiful. And I think we are fully on team give up on hopes and dreams with the Financier. And we are now on team actually fully exile the Tempest Heart. With my extra 3 mana. I'm gonna hold the Financier up as well, play it safe against this 1/1. That was a pretty bad miss last turn, not getting the free kill on the 1/1 with Surginger. There's the swamp. Right when I gave up on them playing a 5th land, they found their swamp. Unless they were specifically holding on to it to not trigger my Financier, but there's no way that is close to correct, so I highly doubt that they were doing that. Agatha's Champion. That is gross. Yeah. And even if we had exiled the Oof earlier, they could still have bargained that out with this 1/1. So if I had played in a way to exile the Oof earlier and found the block on the 1/1, we could have stopped this champion. Still have a 4/2 to attack into it. This isn't the complete end of the game here or anything, but that's real bad. It's a huge 2-for-1. Get a 4/4 trampler on the board and kill my Cinderella. Another 4-power creature. That's a huge deal. Poke them for 4. Play another 4-power creature to block the champion. Now we're not even dead to removal because they kill the giant, but they only have 5 power on board and I can block something with Financier. If they don't have removal, we're in a really solid spot because the giant can trade into champion. Sir Ginger can trade into champion, so we're actually just like up a big creature. So they play a Monstrosity. That's very good here because it's big enough to trade into Sir Ginger even if I sack a treasure. Alright, well we have to snap block here. Might as well stop the extra damage and play a little bit around a combat trick. Stop the trample damage mostly is why we double block. Edgewall Pack, what a draw. What a draw, menacing threats. And a rat. I guess I attack with Financier, because if we get the Monstrosity out of the way, they don't have something good enough to kill Ginger by itself. So 1-for-1 Financier into Monstrosity feels better than 1-for-1 Gingering off, and we're really far away from ever getting more treasure off Financier. Alright, 1-for-1 into Monstrosity, let's go. That is chill. The one thing that I lose from not having Financier is the ability to give them treasure tokens to draw a card, but with a Sir Ginger on board, I don't think we're going to want to do that anyway. So they could cast their Witch and have 3 power to block Sir Ginger, but then everything else we have gets in. So they gotta have a solid non-revealed card. That's a solid non-revealed card. Well, we gotta exile the Oof in response to that so they don't just get a free Scry 2 draw. Find a Grand Ballgast on top. It's not bad. But they're gonna have a 2/3. They're gonna have multiple potential 2/3s. 2/2 doesn't stack favorably. I'll dig for something better. That might be a little greedy. Because I could just be scrying towards more lands. They do sack the 1/1 to the Butcher to scry 2 and draw a card here, which means we'll probably have a solid attack next turn. I guess if they hit a swamp, it won't be that good. Because they'll have 2 2/3s, they can double block Sir Ginger, we can only kill 1 card. 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom. It's not another black source. Okay, so a good attack this turn. Attack with everybody, because if they block the rats, they just die. Block Sir Ginger, what do they got? Is it a combat trick that keeps the Butcher alive somehow? No, it's just a trade, that's fine. They're down to 3 and we play a Protective Parents. They only have the mana to play 1 of their 2 creatures unless they top deck a land. And unless they play both creatures, they're dead. Nice. That was a very big back and forth top deck war kind of game there, but we do get there in the end. 5-1 now, I believe. Certainly are. We are 5-1, firmly in the money, leaving with more gems than it costs to enter, and a bunch of extra packs, and the cards that we've drafted. Super great spot to be as we head into game number 7. Here we are for game 7. Our opponent's on the play. We've got an Ash to get things started. No good ways to trigger the celebration. We're not going to be partying very hard today, but still looks like a solid hand. Great removal if we need it. Minstrosity. I think I'm cool to exile that so Ash can get in and they don't get a food. There's a Ratcatcher trainee. That's gonna get us partying hard now. With our homies, the rat tokens. I would befriend these rats. They are absolutely adorable. It is ridiculous. Rats are supposed to be scary and gross and everything, but they're like, nah, they're adorable. You're good. Stab wound on Ash. That's a huge, huge, huge bummer here. Because Ash was about to pop off so hard. With the Ratcatcher into the Vigilator. I think we're still... Could still be on Ratcatcher, but I could also go Vigil this turn so I can celebrate next turn. Yeah, 2/1/1s that can't block versus 1/2/2 Vigilance. Let's get the 2/2 Vigilance here. It's a lot easier for our opponent to just play a single 2/2 or something and stop a couple 1/1s from hitting them than it is to stop a 2/2 Vigilance from hitting them. And they just play nothing. So who knows what was right. If they literally play nothing this whole time, then using Ratcatcher Trainee's Adventure would have been better because it would have been more mana efficient. It would end with us getting all these cards on the board a little quicker. In the end. Well, this is where we're at now. And it's not a bad spot to be. Get our Scry 2, find a Grand Ballgast. Yeah, with a Vigil and a Trainee to trigger that, that's not bad. The land is not great, though. So we'll ditch that. They play an Evolving Wilds. What's going on in their hand here? Do they have a 4-drop yet? If they're playing Evolving Wilds now, I imagine that was their draw. Yeah, I don't know what exactly is going on in our opponent's hand. Could just be a bunch of like Hamlet Gluttons and they're going to just stabilize so hard, but at least we have one cooped up to deal with part of that. Not playing the Vigil, because if I play the Vigil after, then I can guarantee a celebration with the Grand Ballgast, so it attacks as a 3/3 Trampler instead of a 2/2 Vigilance, so we're hitting harder, getting the Ballgast out first. Since either way, I'm going to be using the Ratcatcher Trainee's Adventure. They have double rat out? Nope. They just needed a rat to bargain something here. Hamlet Glutton needed to get their token. I could see that. It's probably what's going on here. High Fae Negotiator. Alright, same difference. Just a good life-gaining bargain card to try to stabilize with. We'll coop that up. And drop the Financier to trigger Celebration, and make it easier to trigger Celebration on future turns if they play a 6th land. Our opponent's down to 4 here. They're going to have some real good stuff to stabilize from here on. They do have a Sweet Tooth Witch. It's a gain 3 and a blocker. And welcome to Sweet Tooth for another blocker and another food token later. 4 life, 2 blockers on board. Block, block. They're just dead. Yeah, they're already just dead. We're good. We just attack with everybody. Block, block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Yep, we're chill. And there we go. That is going to be our 6th win now, diving even farther into the Scrooge McDuck pool of gems. But hopefully we can get all the way to a 7-win run here. We are heading into our final boss with 2 rounds in the chamber. Here we are for round 1 of the final boss with a super aggro hand. We'll go for it. The keep guard with 2 enchantments to sit on the board so that we have that threat of activation effect. 1 mana to give it +2/+2. Sorry, 1 mana. 3 mana to give it +2/+2 till end of turn. Threatening to be a 3/3. Ooh, Ash. Now we're doing that instead of Vigil, because Ash into double Vigil could be incredible. I am going to offer the trade with the Keep Guard, because then we get the Tabby out of the way so they can't Death Touch Ash. So they do take all the damage, but we'll probably have to flick a coin at the Tabby to keep that from trading into Ash. Sir Ginger, that trading into Ash is a possibility too, so I guess we flick a coin at that, but we don't get Celebration this turn this way. Still worth it, I think. Flick a coin at Sir Ginger. And hit for 3. That was a really good flick a coin. Makes up for the millions of times I feel like I've had it and just never used it. I've had like 1 copy in several of the decks we've drafted so far and just like never really done anything with it overall, but that one was a good one. Alright, now we get to play our own Sir Ginger with a treasure to crack at instant speed. We also get to scry one off a Hopeful Vigil with the Keep Guard. See what we find. Find another one? Sure. We do have a full play set of Hopeful Vigil, which is a lot for a draft deck. A 40-card deck with 4 copies of the same card. You're going to see them pretty often. There's a Barrow Naughty. That's an annoyingly large blocker in terms of toughness. They don't have the mana to buff it up right now, so I can send in the whole team, and they can't just kill a 2/2 for free. Because I can also just buff the Keep Guard with 2 enchantments on board to make it a 3/3. So we need to play a Vigil pre-combat, but then we can attack with everybody, and we're good. That way when I buff Keep Guard, it turns into a 3/3. Too big to die to a Barrow Naughty. Although they don't have the mana to buff it. Definitely keep that flyer. Alright, we have a lot of little tricks that might be easy for people to miss early in the format, so we might just find an egregiously good attack here. Probably not. Our opponent will probably see all of it coming. They read through the cards here. But there's several different ways that might just randomly get got. If they block the Keep Guard with the 1/3, if they block Sir Ginger with the 1/3, either of those, we could get them. Yep, this is their best block, because even if I sack the treasure to Sir Ginger, they can give the Tabby Death Touch here, and still kill Sir Ginger. So, don't think I crack the treasure, then I just keep it for later. And I also don't think I buff Keep Guard, I think I just play another Vigil. Let's scry the same card to the top, just get more creatures here. All Vigils all day long. Keep my flyer. There's the 5th mana for our opponent. Keep Guard threatens to turn into a 4/4 on attacks now, which is pretty spicy. Actually, with the treasure token, I can make Keep Guard an 8/8? No! There goes Keep Guard. That's super sad. Curse of the Werefox is really good here, too, because making the Barrow Naughty a 2/4 is going to hold off all the Vigilant Knights as well. Yeah, that was a fantastic card for our opponent. They're also only 1 mana away from making it a 3/4 on blocks to kill a Clothier. Could hit them for 5. Sack a 2/2 to shoot my opponent for 5. Might be worth it. Put them to 7 life. Yeah, sack a 2/2 to deal 5. We'll do it. They do have a food, though. It's not ideal. Yes, they're at 10 here. Still, sack a 2/2 for 5 points of damage might have been okay. Feral Encounter, that card is gross. Draw a card and kill one of my creatures. So now they just play a Sweet Tooth Witch and blow up my 3/3 flyer. That's a huge 2-for-1. Excellent rare. Well, now we're losing, I think. Got the life total advantage, but board state's getting real bad real quick. And card advantage, we're behind. They've still got a card left over. Fealty? Probably pretty good. Is that just an instant cast here? They have another food token because the stupid witch. I can borrow the naughty, put a wicked roll onto my 2/2 vigilance, and threaten to hit for 8 if they just don't block. And then I've got 3/3s on board for the future. If they just hit like any other creature, Twisted Fealty is going to get significantly less impactful on future turns. Maybe I even steal the Witch, put the counter on this one, and then they block there, take 6. So I can deal 6 if I do it that way. If I Fealty there, I deal 8 if they don't lose the Witch. I think it's better the other way, but I am going to do it here. I think I have a ton of 2-mana cards that are super, super impactful coming up. They do lose the Witch. It's not bad. Alright. 1 Barrow Naughty versus 1 Knight. Ah, we lose. Gruff Triplets is the best green rare in the set. 3/3/3s, if we kill one of them, the other ones all get +3/+3. Kill the next one after that. The other ones get +6/+6. It's basically just literally unbeatable. Alright. Well, we got bombed. We already got hit real hard by that Feral Encounter. Our lack of rares making me feel very jealous and sad now. That is bold. I guess we'll see what their next card in hand is here, but we have some draws that might just kill them. Probably not. I mean, they're at 8 here, but they've got nothing on board. There's probably something that gets close at least. What do I have left in here? Grabby Giant, Edgewall Pack, Celebrant, Parents, Valor, Financier, Ash, Ratcatcher Trinity. Yeah, no, we're just a collection of commons and uncommons. We don't have anything nearly that explosive. There's a lot in the set that could just kill them. Not a lot. There's some cards in the set that could just kill them. If we had rares or mythics in here, but we don't have any in this deck, so. triplets just is that way. There's cooped up, which should be great against any other big threat. Still coop up the Baronati, hit them for 3. Block takes 6. I guess probably the best we can do, but it doesn't lead into any kind of victory at all. But neither does anything else we can draw onto. Poke them to 5 to send a message. I guess we put them to 4, because when this knight dies, our Wicked Roll goes to the grave. We can't get 4 hasty damage off one card, though. So we couldn't, like, find a kill after this. Okay, well, we're dead. Block 1, take lethal, yep. Alright, that was a rough one. Really close game, but we just got destroyed by the card quality I managed to find in the draft. Destroyed for our lack of bombs against their bombs. Just trying to find a better word for it, but lack of bombs versus bombs. Pretty much in the end. 6-2 as we head into the final boss. Alright, here we are for the final boss. Opponents on the play. I kind of like Torch the Tower, flick a coin against an opponent on the play if they're aggressive at all. We've got both the colors, got a decent amount of lands for an opener, so I'm going to keep it here. And they don't look like they're aggressive at all, so that's making me a little less happy about the hand, but we'll see. Financier is great on the draw as well. Ooh, okay. Flick a coin. Gonna be awesome. I could also just torch the vermin if I want. If I torch the vermin, that opens me up to playing Financier next turn. I think that's probably worth it to be able to do that, even though I could flick the vermin and leave torch for something potentially bigger, like getting the Financier to potentially trigger immediately. Okay, stab wound on Financier is not great for me. Might keep it around and take the extra damage for a turn here to get a treasure. But we can always chump with it whenever we think it's not worth the 2 life. For now, I think I'll take 2 to get a treasure this turn. Drop a grabby giant. Could flick my own Financier if they don't attack into it later. Okay, well that's really rude. Hopeless Nightmare, so I take some more damage. Discard a card. And we're just going to pass turn. 4 mana up, doing nothing but passing turn. That's cool with me. Another treasure. Getting just cash money from the Financier over here. At the cost of a lot of life, to be fair. Send in the giant and see what happens. Play another one, and I still have flick a coin up off of all these treasures we've been getting. Winning the race on board. So we take 2 a turn, they take 8 a turn on board. But they're a green deck, that could quickly change. They are going to send in the rat. Alright, I think I'm good with the amount of treasure I've received at this point. I'm not going to put Grabby Giant in danger here. I don't know what they might have to kill the giant. Okay, there's Sweet Tooth Witch for food. Ooh. I do like that. Play this. Put a Royal Roll onto a giant so that can attack into a Sweet Tooth Witch without worrying about dying. Plus we have a flyer now to hit them with as well. And I have a flick a coin to kill a rat in response to whatever trick they're going to try to use to kill my Grabby Giant or my Clothier on blocks. I gotta look that up. Clothier is such a weird word I've never seen before.
Clothier.
Clothier. Alright, there we go.
Clothier.
Clothier is the American one.
Clothier.
That's pretty similar to the British one. I'll just say clothier. It's not cloth, it's clothe. Clothier. Alright. Learn something new every day. What does it even mean? A person who makes or sells cloth or clothing. Okay, so clothier makes sense. So they're just a flying clothes maker. Interesting. What on earth kind of extra damage thing do they have coming on to destroy me? They're coming down. Some kind of massive 10 damage burn spell or something. Gingerbread Hunter, -2/-2. That's chill. I can still flick a coin at the rat. And they actually don't currently have the mana to even play the Gingerbread Hunter after that, unless they've got another land they haven't played yet, which is possible. Hey, alright, flick a coin did excellent things there. Oh my god, and they don't have the land to play the thing? They're just dead for that. If their last card isn't removal. Alright. Their last card isn't removal, but they're not dead. They can trade a flash creature off and survive. Barely. They're down to 2. They've got some food, though. But now we get to start eating our treasure tokens and lands to draw cards. Scream Puff, that's a good draw. The 5/5 was already going to be pretty good here, though, because then I can only attack with the 5/4 Grabby Giant. That remains the case this way. Well, there's got to be gold in these mines somewhere. Well, that's pretty good. So I trade Grabby Giant into the Scream Puff, get one of their 5 toughness cards out of the way, and then they're still going to play a 5/5 next turn. They don't have any creatures with adventures in their grave. They will after Gingerbread thing dies for the Edgewall in. Let's see what we scry into. But I think I am trading my 5/4 into the 4/5 to get stuff out of the way. Ooh, a cooped up. So trade this into that. Next turn they play the 5/5. We coop it up, exile it, and attack with everybody. That's the line. And Hopeful Vigil's still a good draw, so I'll draw into that after the cooped up. Alright, they pretty much 100% have to go Scream Puff Grabby Giant here. If I attacked everybody, this one would trade into the Witch and they'd eat a food and be at 3. Might have been the play. I don't love losing my other Grabby Giant though, because I like the backup plan of being able to just sack a bunch of lands and draw more cards from this point on. Okay, so here's this Gingerbread Hunter with another bit of life gain here. Now, I can coop up this Hunter. Send in the team. They trade into Grabby Giant, take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but gain 3, go to 1 life. But I can draw a card off this Grabby Giant. I could draw 2 if I'm okay with not exiling Gingerbread Hunter. But yeah, since I didn't trade off Grabby Giant last turn, I do get to dig away some land into some card draw. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're putting them to 1 here. I think it's okay for them to have an out to maybe save the gingerbread hunter. Just go ahead in cards here to really make sure, even if they somehow don't die, that we're just ahead in cards and still applying pressure. They find the naturalize for the cooped up. They keep looking at the gingerbread hunter, so maybe. We've got a moment of valor to still clear it out. Get that one out of the way. Nope. They did not find anything good enough, and that's going to be yet another 7-win run in Wilds of Eldraine. That is 7-2 for our red-white all commons and uncommons celebration aggro deck. Pretty nasty stuff for a deck with, well, no, we got one Sir Ginger. Dang it, Sir Ginger, you ruin everything. Alright, basically all commons and uncommons, because Sir Ginger mostly just a 2-mana 3-1 in here, kind of playing like an uncommon at best. I guess it's not literally all commons and uncommons, that's sad. And we don't get to have that claim to fame here. But we've got an Iron Crag, Italian, and Apprentice's Folly. We ditched a bunch of great rares and mythics to go for the streamlined red-white celebration aggro, and it was worth it overall in the end, getting a 7-win run here, getting the max prizes. Ash Party Crasher, real good card, especially with cards like Hopeful Vigil, where you only have to play 1 card to trigger your celebration. Thing was nuts. The Grabby Giants were consistently pretty great as well, just a beefy attacker that was drawing us some extra cards late in the game. Big fan of those. Pretty much everything in the deck was doing pretty sweet stuff. Yeah, but those were the ones that I really liked, that I really want to shout out here. Ash Party Crasher, Grabby Giant. Those were cards that were doing even better than I thought they would. Grabby Giant looked pretty medium at first. It definitely played well above that. And Ash already looked good, but Ash played absolutely phenomenally. Loved her. Flick a Coin also played better than I've ever had Flick a Coin play before. We actually got some good kills on some 1 toughness cards, and ruined their combat trick to try to kill a creature, some stuff like that. Good stuff from the Flick a Coin, so very good stuff from the deck in general. Well, we're going to grab our 2200 gems, our 6 packs, and that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you're interested in seeing some more videos like this, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.